That's what James is eating today. Some tomato and bell pepper and some strawberries on the side. And the soup, I used this tomato sauce and this power bowl with some lentils and steamed carrots and stuff that I cooked as well earlier. And I just took this one was a pork bowl, but I took the pork out of it and I gave it to Angel. She was very happy. And anyway, I talked about this earlier today, and it was so great that there were some points I was watching this, and she was doing some back stretches and stuff like that. And how she has it set up is she has a few people. Sometimes there's 5 people actually in the row, but there's 3 basic exercise options to follow. So if she says, you know, she has 90-year-olds that do it, and it's just they would do one of her modified techniques for the various yoga things. So she has one where the guy's doing the things normally. And then she's doing one where she's using the chair to as support while she's doing the different things. And then she has another person who's using the chair all the time. So it could be that you could be in a wheelchair and still find a way to do this, or with the using the chair method standing sort of, you could have a walker maybe and do this. So this gives options. And I like that she has a big, you know, not only does she have the medical disclaimer written out beforehand, like consult your doctor and this and that and whatever, but all along the way she's telling the viewer to listen to their body and don't go beyond what your body can handle. And if she says this one, if you have lower back pain, don't do this, follow such and such, follow this other person, what she's doing, and stuff like that. Because a lot of the time with these exercise, or basically this is stretching really more than exercise, but a lot of the times with these kind of programs, the people who are doing them don't seem to realize just how difficult it is to do some, like, just basic things. Like, I was watching this and thinking, yeah, I think mountain pose is beyond me, or whatever, right? And that's just standing. And so there's a lot of the times people don't realize how hard it can be to just do very basic things that used to be so simple you didn't even think about, but all of a sudden your body has changed in a way that you can't do that anymore. And so I like this. She does seem to realize that, and she's not thin, she's not young, and some of the things she goes a little fast, and she says, if you can't do it this fast, then don't worry about it, it's okay, kind of thing. But you get this sense that, well, she can do it, so eventually I maybe can too. So that's kind of nice to have somebody who's not really young and muscular and whatever center stage to try to keep up with. And another thing I liked about her program is that she says, what was it? Oh, I can't remember now. It was on the top, it was on my mind, and then I lost it.
Don't push it?
Well, she says that a lot of the time, like with different things. And so she's really good that way. But there was something that I thought was pretty important. that I wanted to mention, but I was there for a second and then it went.
Take it slowly.
That's the problem when I don't do this on script, right? So
You were talking about using belts or socks or something.
there's that too. Yeah, she like, it's amazing doing this stuff. I was amazed at how much flexibility I've lost. I have so little now. And things that I used to be able to do, not thinking, and now I'm like, oh boy, I can't even, like, just sitting with your feet together and your legs apart, and it's like, that's not even wanting to go apart barely at all, right? Let alone flat like they usually do or whatever. But or stretching, trying to touch your toes, and it's like, oh yeah, that's a mile away. That's not going to happen. But she uses a belt, so she'll show you. She says you don't want to be curving your back when you do this at all. So the temptation is to go down far and curve your back, but she says you don't want to do that. You want to keep it straight, so use the belt and do it this way. She says pay attention to what you're doing with your body and pay attention to how your body feels, like with the breaths. So it starts out just with breathing. She's showing you breathe while moving your head, breathe while, or moving your, and so you're paying attention to your body the whole time. But no, there was something else I wanted to mention. I just lost it. Anyway, it's okay. I found it so relaxing though, just to watch it. Oh yeah, there's one thing she said that I liked. She said watch the whole video through before you do the exercise.
Okay.
Just watch it and look at things and think, yeah, maybe I might want to try that or whatever, right? And it's funny because James and I, that's what we used to do. Before we'd go to work in the morning, I'd have the belly dancing show, and there was a yoga show I'd watch too. But anyway, I'd have that on in the morning while we're getting ready, and I wasn't doing anything. I just had it on. I was watching what they were doing. And I am, as I mentioned earlier, I have very little flexibility. There's no way I could do belly dancing, even back then. But yet, I was watching things and thinking, yeah, maybe I could do something similar to that or whatever that would be, within my abilities or something. So I like that she said watch everything through first, because James had said something to me before years ago about how people don't realize how valuable it is to just think about doing exercises, not even actually doing them. He was telling me that they've done studies that show if you're going through like exercise drills in your mind, it actually helps you so that when you're doing them, you do them better. Well, right?
It's more
You'll
like
explain it better.
practice, what they're talking about. Practice shooting basketball, stuff like that.
There you go. So just the visualization process of visualizing how you will do things or whatever, that actually helps. It trains you passively before you actually actively do the activity.
Yeah, and you can intersperse it, right?
Yeah.
So if you're having to sit somewhere, you can actually visualize them. Mm-hmm. Be using your time effectively.
Yeah. And a lot of the time people want to rush into something. I was watching as I did a review of the CSI videos that I love watching CSI. And there was a show where there was a guy he was a larger man, and he had a big exercise plan. He was, on the wall, or close to the fridge, whatever he was going to do. He was found dead in his apartment, and he had all of this, like, plans for doing a 5-kilometer run and this and that, and it's like, just, so that one just went in. I just put these in the jar for later. I was going to mention that too, that You heard that one pop, so that one's down and that one's sealed for
Good.
James to eat for later. And this one hasn't went down yet, so we'll see if it does.
We'll here.
But I wouldn't recommend doing canning this way. I'm going to point that out. But I do sometimes. I do when I'm making stuff for James like this, just without doing a big canning expedition.
The same day.
The same day sort of stuff. Then I give it a gamble. Sometimes it works out. I wouldn't do this normally. Not if you're making a whole bunch of food. You might end up throwing a lot out. But if you take your jars and you wash them, they're hot out of the dishwasher, and you fill them up with your hot food, and you put the lids on and tighten them up, that might just happen for you.
Good.
So it might work out. But I'll say again, I'm not recommending you do that, because I'm not going to be responsible for you poisoning yourself.
Yeah.
Trying to not do canning the right way. But I'm very tired lately. James he's recovering, thank goodness, because it's been exhausting. But anyway, back to the CSI guy. So he had all this big, I'm gonna jump into things, and or people, they'll have this big idea they get on zero carb sort of diet or low carb diet, and they think I'm gonna go ketogenic, and I'm just gonna the weight's just gonna fall off me, and it sure does. If you go ketogenic, it really does.
For a while.
Yep, for a while. But is it really healthy to put your body into starvation mode? And it's something to think about. It's something you should do research on, not jump into anything like that. And it's the same with any sort of exercise program. It's good to take your time about it and do the research and ease into things. Like James and I believe very strongly, it's better to just try to go for a walk. Just go for a little walk, and if you can do a little more, then like go a little further, or pick up the, maybe have a little bit of an incline or something that you work on eventually. That's great. And then eventually you're climbing mountains. Just do it slowly but surely. Fool your body into getting into shape, and it's it's a healthier way to do it.
Forget no pain, no gain. Try to fool your body so you don't feel pain.
So you have no pain, all gain. So anyway, I was talking about climbing mountains, and I was listening to this stuff while we were in the car. I borrowed that from the library because I love Liszt, and I love Chopin. Who doesn't love Chopin? So I love piano music. Anyway, we were listening to that while we were going to Waterton, back and forth, going to Waterton, mountain hiking. And then first I ran into some troubles, and then James ran into some. Well, I got my back.
Okay, there.
My back. So I ran into some troubles that way, and it was a real bummer. But and that was gardening. I was watering, doing the supplemental watering with the watering can, and it was too much for me, and I bent a way that I shouldn't bend, and I shouldn't be lifting watering cans anyway. Not with my back, and I knew it, but I did it, and that took a bit of recovery. And now I'm back. I can pack the groceries and stuff, so that's good. And it was just in time, actually, because it turned out that he ended up getting sick, and so then I needed to be able to do everything again. But I was going to say that I have gotten these out of this series before.
From
I don't
the
know.
Library.
Yeah, we even own a few.
I own
these.
a few of them.
Yeah, but I actually am not a fan of these. I don't know how you feel about them, but there's not that much on them.
There's not.
Yeah.
So you end up largely with the same things over and over again.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend this series. But this this Chopin collection, awesome. It has everything on it. That it's 7 CDs on here,
Oh.
and it has everything that I would want to listen to
There we go.
by Chopin.
It wouldn't have everything. But,
No,
he
it doesn't
didn't
have
live that
everything,
long.
but it has
Mhm.
it has a lot of things on there.
Yeah.
It's very good, and
It's
it's,
amazing
a very
how-
good production.
When you listen to a good collection of his, how so much of the stuff is quite a bit different from the usual run-of-the-mill stuff you hear from him. Not that it's really run-of-the-mill. but
No,
it's,
he has a
it
lot of
seems to be-
variation.
oh,
It's
he
very
does.
yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that's a little bit more upbeat than what you're used to here.
Yeah.
Anyway, I should be heading out.
Okay, because it is starting to rain.
Who is it? I didn't even notice.
Yeah,
but
just a
that's
little
awfully
bit.
down to me. I'm going to leave this these
Well, I'm gonna bring them.
jars here. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll pack them.
Oh, okay. Okay.